views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Welcome, good people of the Bronx and beyond. My name is Henry Ovalles, and I'm your host for Life in Art. On this show, we will bring you engaging and personal conversations with artists with whom you may not be familiar. People who have been working on their craft for at least a decade and are at a crossroads where passion meets necessity. We'll discuss creativity and inspiration with our guest artists, but also find out what it takes to balance the struggles of practical life while pursuing their passions. Our guests today are the current creative force behind a local dance company carrying on the legacy of our dearly departed friend, Maurice C. They are dancers, choreographers, filmmakers, and students of life who are gearing up for their 10th anniversary show this Saturday, October 10th at Lehman College. Today, we learn about hip-hop theories, life in art.
I got a million ways to get it. Now double your money and make it stack. On to the next one, on to the next. Hold up.
Rock, LMFAO.
Shake that.
Turn down for what?
And here we are in the studio with my friends Hip Hop Theory. We have Alicia Waldie, aka McFierce, Christina Cruz, aka CC, and MJ Abiva, aka MJ Abiva. Guys, thanks so much for joining us, for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about hip hop theory. It's sort of strange to be here, obviously, without hip hop theory, the person, Maurice C. who's obviously, someone that we were all very close to. When I had the idea to start this show, he was one of the first people that I spoke to about being on the show. He was slated to be the third guest, and unfortunately, of course, that didn't happen. But it's great that you guys are, continuing on with hip hop theory, and the fact that his art and his legacy is going to continue to just go on for so much longer because of your work. So let's take it from the beginning of hip hop theory. Where was it born, and when?
It was actually born right at Lehman College. It came out of not really a dance group. It was more of a hip hop piece in a dance show that was put together by a local dance students who had a show called Movement Revolution. It was Craven Seneca, the company.
Right.
And they asked Mo, or Maurice, we call him Mo, to do a hip hop piece in it. And he was excited, elated, so he grabbed a bunch of us students and pulled us all together and had one big grand finale of a hip hop piece, which was different than the rest of the show. It was a very artistic show, very avant-garde,
Right.
and this was very different, and it made an impression on not only the audience, but at the time the technical director of the theater department at Lehman, Ken Ross. So he there in turn saw what an impact it had and asked Mo to put on his own show.
Right, a full show.
Right, a full show. And it was just a bunch of us college kids trying to get together and have a fun college show. So they gave us a Thursday night performance. It was a one-day shot.
Right.
It was May 19th, 2005, which seems like it was yesterday.
Right.
It's hard to believe that, 10 years have already passed, but it was a hit. And ever since then, he knew from that day forward that that's what he wanted to do. That's what he wanted to do with his life. And from there on forward, it just became more than a show, more than a bunch of people having fun. It became a movement and a company of people, friends, family,
Right.
and a community.
Right. Yeah, 10 years, and it's wild to think about. You mean talking about Mo and the fact that he's not physically with us anymore, and you mentioned Ken Ross, who was also a mentor to many people, especially those that came through the theater program at Lehman College, and unfortunately he's not with us physically anymore. But I think it just speaks to how art can transcend even death. That the work is still there, the inspiration is still there for us to keep going. So I want to know a little bit about each of you, how hip hop theory came into your lives and how you came into the life of hip hop theory. So if we want to start off with CC, and then we'll work our way around.
Okay, so I was a student at Lehman College, and I had a class with Professor Amy Larimer. It was a dance perspectives class, and he came in. I've met him prior to this whole thing that's about to happen. So he comes into the class, and he's like, you know, I have this show, and we're doing this big finale at the end. Is anyone interested? It's just going to be like a big party. You can come. And I was like, oh, me.
I like big parties.
me, I'll do it. And he started laughing. He was like, all right, cool. Yeah. Yes, so it was Hip Hop Theory's 2.0 show. And in that show, Amy Larimer had a segment, what have you. And then at the end, I went and I danced. And then we kept in touch during the summer. And I think it was around August. And he was like, would you like to be a part of Hip Hop Theory? Further down the line, moving forward, as Hip Hop Theory became more established and became Hip Hop Theory the company, I took on another role as Associate Artistic Director.
Yeah, it was great how he would, just push people to get the best out of, all of us, even if we didn't know that, that we had that in us. You know, he saw it first.
Each show was a learning experience.
Right.
Not just, I didn't want to just focus on the dance aspect. I wanted to learn about lights. How do you, because he did everything.
Yep.
Designed lights, he hung lights, he did sound, he did the mixes.
Yeah.
Designed the flyers and things like that. And then, after a while, I would design the flyers, and I would do this, and I would do that, and be more actively involved.
Right. So everybody, and MJ, how did you come into Hip Hop Theory?
I came in Hip Hop Theory October 2014, but I knew about them in 2008. I performed in a show with my friends in JDEV production. I think it was a spring dance concert that they had, and that was the first time I saw Hip Hop Theory, and I was like, wow, they're really cool. But I wanted to give them props. I was like, oh, you guys are really cool, but they didn't see me, so that moved on. And then I went to Lehman College. In 2014, I had a spring dance concert. I was after that, I was then approached by Cece. She said, "Hey, we're having a summer show with Lehman Stages for Summer Works." I think that was Once Upon a Time, and unfortunately, I couldn't do it because I had to take summer classes. I couldn't make rehearsals. And then after that,
how dare you choose classes
over
performance?
I know. Who wants to graduate, right?
Right.
And then right after that, I said, "Hey, if you have any more productions coming up, I'd like to be part of them." And she said, "Yeah, just start coming to rehearsals." And that's how I started.
And that's how that happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about Cece. I mean, you touched on it. Mo really did have his hands a little bit in everything, and obviously his background was martial arts and basketball, and then got into hip hop. But yeah, he would do lighting, he would do the mixes, as you said. He was a very proficient stage technician. And you talked about the aspects of marketing and being able to speak to a group of people. I remember a lot of times if I had any criticism of the shows, I would come and say, "Mo, you don't have to talk so much in between pieces." I know that they have to change, but I mean he was an educator also, and that's what it was, and that was important to him, for people not to just see the moves and and hear the music and go whoa, but to know the origin of it and the history of it and why it was important. So can you talk to me a little bit about how his love of martial arts and basketball and other art forms and graphic design and all of that sort of made their way into the company and to the success that the company has had?
If he was talking about a particular topic, it could be, especially like if he was talking about dance, he will find a way to like integrate something from something that he learned in art or anything. Like he always found things that can relate to each other, that can relate to dance, that can relate to life.
Right, so storytelling.
Yes,
always.
storytelling, which that was also a key part in how he would create his pieces.
So let's actually take a quick break right there, and then when we come back, I want to dig a little bit deeper into that and some of the shows that Hip Hop Theory has had, and as you guys started going to festivals and things of that nature. So we'll be right back with more about the legacy of Hip Hop Theory after the break.
Teachers today are finding new ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. HSF.net.
I already knew that I was gonna go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
The saving grace to all this was the Each One Teach One dance series, a bi-weekly workshop Mo had started before entering the conservatory. These workshops were given by members of Hip Hop Theory and guest choreographers.
Take advantage of stuff like this. Take advantage of everything. There are a lot of free classes around the city that people forget because the names of the people who are teaching these classes, you don't know. There are tons of teachers, there are tons of choreographers, there are tons of people that you can learn from.
Welcome back to Life in Art. We are here with members of Hip Hop Theory. So we had left off sort of talking about storytelling aspects and how important that was to Mo and to you as a company and in the shows that you do. So continue, please.
Well, actually, we did this one piece in 2007. He titled it Sin City, and he based it on the comic book, and he intertwined that story within a dance piece, which actually we will be re-performing at our 10th anniversary concert. So it was one of his favorite pieces. But he did a lot of storytelling because of his theater background as well. So he learned a lot, and it drew more from the audience. He always wanted to make sure that the audience left remembering something or relating to something. He created a whole show based on his experience in the hospital, telling a whole entire story through dance of what he felt like when he was in the hospital for the very first time. And it was a great show. Everybody always remembers that show.
Now talk to me about also with Hip Hop Theory, just to get into the nitty gritty of it. You had mentioned, I think earlier during the break, the Hip Hop Dance Conservatory that you guys attended. Right. Mo, you, some of the other members of Hip Hop Theory originally also. Mm-hmm. And what did that mean to the group, just getting those fundamentals and?
Okay, so we received the scholarship for their summer intensive program, Hip Hop Dance Conservatory Summer Intensive, through a competition, flash dance competition. And it was Mo, myself, and then we stayed in the Hip Hop Dance Conservatory for about 2.5 years. Right. We gained a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. We had a few performances with them, which were pretty cool. And then we just decided it's time to come home. So we came here just, to gain some thorough knowledge and, take that back home and rebuild and start anew, but better. I don't want to stay here. This is not my home.
Forever.
No, you won't take me alive. No, yeah,
All right, but like you said, it was, really beneficial to you guys to go through that experience and, sort of dig in deeper into the history of hip hop and what it means.
Yeah, we gained a lot, and it just felt good to come home though.
So talk to me about the process when you guys are putting shows together. Obviously now you're doing the 10-year anniversary show, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the next segment. But how would it work typically? How much of it came out of Mo's mind, and how much of it was a collaboration between artists such as yourselves that have different backgrounds in dance that maybe he didn't have also? How did it work? How did you choose which music piece to put in each show and to choreograph to?
Well, a lot of the time, he would initiate. He always had ideas, and he would always say, I want to put this idea out. And, I want to do this, but I need your help with this piece, or I want, or even if you didn't even want to help him, he was like, you're gonna do this because you need to be pushed.
This is your song.
Right. This is your song, you go do it, work on it, give it to me in 2 weeks or something like that. And that's what he did with not only us, but a lot of people who were learning how to choreograph or he saw potential in. Yes. So it started in his mind, he would lay it out, he would listen to songs. A lot of the time he would give us songs, or if somebody felt really passionate about it, they would say, I want to do this song, but he would say, why do you want to do that song? Yes. Give me a story, give me a reason, a background on why. He wouldn't let you just pick a song because it was a hot song, or it's, you know, everybody's doing it. There's always a reason to what why you wanted to do that song, what it meant to you to do that song on stage, to tell your story to the audience and your fellow dancers and choreographers.
Right.
And also, a lot of it came from freestyling. That man danced everywhere. Everywhere. We would wait at the bus stops going home, and he's dancing BBQs, you name it. We're in the elevator, and I'm just like, are you knee snapping? Are you knee snapping in the elevator? Okay, great. If he had a particular song that he liked to freestyle to often, it would eventually become a piece.
Yeah.
So so it would just germinate in his mind for a while, and then he would share it with the company.
Yes.
And eventually, and how long would that was that process from sort of beginning to conception usually take? Would it be a matter of weeks, months, days?
For a whole show, it would take a couple of months.
Yeah.
But he, even in that process, he would come to us a week or two before the show and be like, we got to do this song. And we're like, you're nuts. We're not doing this.
Right. Or we're going to add this in. Add, excuse me?
But he was always, we were all like, you're nuts. And he would always say,
we'll make it work.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
And every time it worked. You think we would learn that it would work.
We'll figure it out.
We'll make it work.
We've learned pieces
the day
before or day of a performance, something. We would be on it. And
the hip hop theory way.
Right.
That's right.
All right, so let's keep on making it work in the next segment. Let's take a quick break. We'll learn more about how dance can create community when we come back.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day, more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. Learn more at hsf.net.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. And you get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
So everybody that considers themselves to be a hip-hop dancer or is growing to be a hip-hop dancer, you need to know this. You need to know your history, because you can't go anywhere without foundation. A tree is going to fall down if it's not planted properly. If there's no roots, the tree is going over. You will be blown over quickly.
And we're back on the Life and Art with Hip Hop Theory, the company. All right, so let's talk about the event that's coming up this weekend, the 10-year anniversary show. And there's also actually a documentary of, you know, the history of hip hop theory that's going to be shown as well. So let's actually do it a little bit in reverse. MJ, do you want to talk to me a little bit about the documentary and what that's about and what you've been working on?
I talked to Mo. I was like, hey, well, I didn't see myself as a dancer, but I was like, oh, I can move, I can learn stuff. But I also wanted to apply what I was studying to hip hop dance. So I was like, hey, is it cool if I make a documentary about you guys? Because whenever he told his stories, he would like go into like really like subtle detail, but I wanted to learn more. But I also wanted to tell the story about whatever Hip Hop Theory, the company, was. And I want to let everybody know this is a company that you should pay attention to because they're doing really great things with the community. And I wanted to get that story out there.
Cool, so what can we expect in the documentary?
A lot of dancing, obviously. You can expect a lot of history. You can learn origins of hip hop theory. We can go, it flashes back and forth between the history of hip hop theory and also the rehearsals of Hip Hop Theory 10, which is our 10th anniversary show coming up. So it's a fun time.
So let's talk about that now. How in the world do you condense 10 years of hip hop theory into one show?
Very hard, very hard.
Yes, it is quite difficult.
So how are you faring? How's it going?
Well, we selected like pieces that he favored. So, for example, Sin City, as Alicia mentioned earlier, certain competition pieces.
Some of our most memorable pieces.
Some of our most memorable
pieces,
pieces, or like, let's say, like one of the pieces was a piece that he performed in when we showcased at Prelude, and that was the first time he was on stage since the hospital.
Right.
So things like that. Our little comedic sections that we used to do, we're pulling those in.
Right.
Not saying what they are. It's a surprise.
We'll have to go see them.
Surprise. Yeah, you have to see it. Yeah.
All right, so explain to me then how the evening's going to work. It's going to be first the actual dance concert,
Yes.
then folks can buy tickets to the documentary either separately or they can come to both as well, right?
Yes.
Right, there's a reception afterwards where we are premiering the screening of the documentary. The show starts at 5, and you can buy a ticket to that. You can buy a ticket to the reception, or we have a discount if you buy them together. So there's going to be food served at the reception.
Food.
So
Good food. Love food.
Yeah, it's really, I'm very excited. It's going to be an exciting night, I think, for all our friends, our family, and even everybody who Mo even touched this much has been saying that they were going to come see it just so they can like feel his presence, because he'll be there.
It's a coming together, for sure.
It's a celebration, really.
Right, right. This is great that you guys are doing this show and that Hip Hop Theory is going to continue. So now my question is, I think that, you know, his passion, his inspiration obviously is what brought people together and pushed people together to create this great art. How do you foresee that continuing to happen in the future? I know that, you know, just the strength of his passion, of his creativity should keep you guys going for quite some time. But what happens, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, what do you envision Hip Hop Theory doing and going, and how does it continue to evolve without him physically present?
Well, he's present in all of us. You know, he taught and trained all of, not only us, but the younger kids, the students, and they've grown and gone on to bigger and better things, so to speak. So his legacy is not only with Hip Hop Theory, like he's brought it out to everyone.
Right.
So
Each one.
you have the Each One Teach Ones that he created, which are the free dance workshops. Every first and third Sunday of the month we do that. Free, absolutely free.
And we're having one October 11th.
The day after the show, October 11th, they're restarting again. So that right there is how he brought everybody together, that one specific endeavor, Each One Teach One. And that, I think that's really how everything is just gonna keep continuing on. You know, the passion that he put into that, everybody could see, not only for the company, but that specific project of his. He was very passionate about helping the community and bringing people off the streets and teaching them not only how to be dancers, but teaching them how to be better people and how to interact with people, and just creating little artists, little Mo's all over the place.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people over, the past 10 years have come through those programs and have been touched by Mo. And it's great that you guys are continuing the legacy to have it, just continue to roll on. So I think that's just, a great way to end the show, and hopefully, as many people as possible can make it to the anniversary show. So it seems we've run out of time. Thanks to everyone from Hip Hop Theory for sharing their life and art with us. Thank you so much. If you want to come out and see the show and the documentary screening, tickets are on sale. Visit Hip Hop Theory on Facebook for more information. They'll also be on sale at the door at the Lovinger Theater on October 10th, beginning at 4 p.m. We promise you won't want to miss it. As always, we thank you all for joining us today. We want to encourage you to connect with us on social media. Visit us on Facebook and YouTube at A Life in Art, and Instagram and Twitter at A Life in Art TV. We'll be back with more stories from emerging artists when we return with A Life in Art.
I got a million ways to get it. Now double your money and make it stack. On to the next one, on to the next. Hold up.
Rock LMFAO.
Shake that.
Turn down for what?
It's the part where we break it down. Gonna break it down. Then the sauna, it gotta be the track boys. If it's making that noise, getting paper till my pockets bigger than the fat boys. Don't look around while I go put it down while you.
Every budget, so don't accept defeat.
Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Information on hot water heating.
No. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out the words.
World music, playing track now.
No.
Let me try. Our daughter gets confused about which details in a story are important.
Which paper towels are most absorbent?
What?
Here are 5 product reviews.
Why are you not getting me?
See, I told you.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.